Hey guys, this is the final part concluding the Blacklist, or Splinter Cell Blacklist, No Kill, Ghost Mastery, Perfectionist achievement guides, or just in general guides or walkthroughs at least. I did it, I'm pretty impressed with my playthroughs. A lot of my scores are up the high end of the leaderboard, so I'm quite happy with that. I don't really expect it, but it is what it is, so I like to hope that these scores, well, I don't think they'll stay for very long, but I feel that my playthrough is quite well done. I've avoided killing when I can, I've avoided getting spotted where I can. Obviously with that comes failures, a few checkpoint restarts and having to edit cut out videos and make silly looking little cuts here and there, but at the end of the day, this should serve you well in obtaining these achievements with little hassle. So we'll get right into it here. Just as you saw from the start, creep along the left side, avoid the heavy guard from the start. There's a bunch of snipers on the roof here. They can be a real pain. There's 3 of them and they seem to always hover around in inconvenient positions. There's 3 guards in here, so do this promptly. They'll eventually move towards the door you want to exit out of, but just slide between these covers. Don't walk between them because you'll probably get spotted. But once you've slid past those covers, walk out here. Be careful, there is one lone heavy guard patrolling out here. You'll notice that I try and go back the way I came, but that's probably not advised, and you'll see here in a second why. Because if you go out in the open, there will be a heavy guard patrolling along there to the right. So fortunately the fact that he was patrolling in that direction opened my eyes to a better path, one that's easier to avoid getting spotted by those 3 snipers that I mentioned before. So just walk down this path and through the gate. I think you could probably climb down that tunnel there. Be wary of the guard that we were trying to avoid before, the heavy. He will be just standing there looking straight at the grate that we're trying to get down. Actually, I think it'd probably be a shortcut going down that other one, because you do have to climb. Oh, actually, no, the fan. No, you probably have to go this way. Okay, so just ignore what I said there. Now, a little bit of a, not a tricky part, but definitely a bit of a annoyance, and it's pretty easy to get caught out by these lasers, especially later on in the level. You get a little bit more intricate laser pattern, but this one, obviously the first one, not too bad. If the laser's coming around, just make sure that you hop up and on the ledge and just wait for a second, spot the laser and wait. So once the laser goes by, be patient, because you can slide along the ledge a lot faster than the laser's going. Hop into the vent and move into the next laser riddled shaft after we drop down here into another vent. Yep. Okay, this one's a little bit more tricky and a little bit deceiving, especially like the camera angles make it a little hard to pick, but you can just instantly drop down to that ledge at no worry of getting caught. Drop down again, come around, switch sides of that and go all the way around, and then just pop up there. Don't do what I just did, although you probably could do it for speed, but yeah, just hop up on the ledge there, wait for that to go, and then hop on the ladder, and be wary of the lasers coming down the ladder. There's 2. Hop into the vent there and we'll move on to the next section. Okay, so heading through the vents here, now we're going to encounter our first tricky sets of guards. There's plenty of Spec Ops guys in here, so don't be fooled and think the dark will hide you from them, because it simply does not. They've got their nice little goggles on, red style. Turn off the light switch, although it's probably irrelevant, doesn't really help much, but there's one Spec Ops guy there. Just nestle yourself in the corner, he shouldn't see you there. He doesn't turn that way, and he will turn to his left and walk down the hall. That's our cue to move, just there. Okay, so there's 2 more guards that'll come out here, and they'll have a nice little conversation about the president. At that point, we'll move into the darkness here, jump up on the rail above, or the pipe, and we'll just wait a second while these 2 talk it out. Yeah, the one of them's going to walk right underneath you. That's not a problem. The other one's going to walk to the doorway in front of us. That's the one we're waiting for here. Basically, once he moves, we are good to walk straight. He'll turn around to his right. There we go, and we are good to walk straight in here. Okay, don't worry about the marks. The radar guys, there's one guy to the left there that doesn't appear to be, I'm not sure, he must be in a room somewhere, but he's not a bother. Just wait it out here, don't do what I tried to just do, because you want to try and avoid the guard there seeing the vent open. If he sees the vent open, he gets in a little bit of a hissy fit and tells all of his friends, and he's just not happy about it. So just wait it out there. He'll eventually turn around. There's a bit of waiting to do in this mission, should be said. At least a lot of waiting if you don't want to interact with any of the guards. I mean, you could knock a lot out and speed your process up, but I choose to avoid them. Okay, so don't be silly like I am here and open the grate thinking it's a good idea, because there is one guard to the left lurking. You can see him come in there at the top left. He wasn't too happy about me opening that one either. He's a bit of a vent renegade, I suppose. And yeah, we've just got to be patient here. There's probably opportunities that you could have left this vent. Once again, the guards have basically the same pattern. It's just a matter of timing it the right way in here. It's not a real issue though. It's really not too hard to get around. You see another Spec Ops guy there, and the other guard is a regular, so we're going to be following the regular guard here. He's going to walk into the room to the right. We're not going to follow him directly, but we're going to head the opposite direction from him once we enter that room and play another waiting game. So basically, here you see him. You can see him on the map. He's right there in front of me on that radar. So he starts walking in. And this is the time that you have to do it. Obviously I failed and jumped up on the pipe with the button, so yeah, just shut the vent just so that you don't arouse any suspicion, and slide across to the cover here. You'll notice that this guard that you've just followed in, he'll turn and he'll walk back down this way, so we're just going to crawl around there. But be careful when we get to the objective marker. Just take cover on the right. Obviously if you're watching the video you should figure that one out. But just take cover there. There's another Spec Ops fella that comes out of the elevator, and he decides he wants to just have a look around and rummage on the ground. So we just have to wait for him for a little bit. Hopefully you don't get stuck here and in trouble by the guard that comes from behind. As you can see, I'm looking out for him. Eventually he does start, here he comes, he's coming back in the room, but fortunately when you do this, walk through and slide quickly into the cover, otherwise he might spot you when you're walking in. You'll have to do that whole section again. It's a bit frustrating. But go down on the left of the side of the elevator and climb up on top. Come up on the catwalk and drop down to the ledge and do a 180 all the way around and up. Okay, so jump on the red pipe here, and we're going to the most jam-packed laser place that I've seen in the whole game. Not all too difficult though, just be a bit patient, just about knowing your way around really. I was a little bit confused there, but at the end of the day it's not too bad. Okay, so drop down one level, hook around, switch sides, hook around again. Okay, so here we're going to drop down and again, two times drop down and hook around again, and we will hack the network port. Nice little holding himself up by one arm style there. So switch sides and hook around again for the third or fourth time. Jump in there, hook around hook around again, and then go on the ladder. Now from here you got to time this pretty well, because the laser tracking isn't too far, and climbing down isn't the fastest maneuver in the world. You could probably slide down if you wanted to run the gauntlet, but it doesn't matter. So as you see there, get down, hop off the ladder and get down, and make sure you have your noisemakers out here. Shoot it to the left there quickly, and then stroll across to the right. You might get spotted there. If you do it quick enough, you should not have an issue at all. Now this one, a bit of timing is involved, but it's pretty easy. The markers are there, and it's quite simple to know exactly when to do it. So don't have any worries about getting caught here. It's not as daunting and hard as it looks. So what we want to do is, there's a heavy dude over there, and there's another heavy that will come across our screen to the left. Here he comes now. Once he comes across, jump over to that cover. Have your noisemakers out again. I didn't really think about this until the minute I did it. Shoot it to his right or his left, doesn't matter. Probably to his right, so he turns the other way. And then quickly walk inside there and jump up in the vent. That will help you evade the RFID door. Do this promptly, because there will be that guy might walk in front of the RFID scanner thing and open the door and spot you. So as you see here, I'm just being a bit of an idiot walking around, but you probably want to avoid going to C first, because the exit door is actually at C, or it's a couple of meters, 20 meters away from C. If you go do C first, you have to walk all the way back. Not a big issue, obviously, unless you if you knock everyone out in here, then it's not an issue at all. But what we want to do is go to B first. We'll just sneak in here, run across the front of the door in the dark. There'll be a vent to the right. Okay, so now we just play a fair bit of waiting here. There's a lot of luck, or not luck based, but luck in the paths that they take can save you time. Can also cost you a lot of time. Sometimes, you know, you don't have to wait long. Fortune might favour you, and the guy might be in a position you want him to be. Other times, you just have to wait it out. That's just the beauty of these games, really, isn't it? So, yeah, a lot of waiting here. What we want to do is just wait for one guard to walk past to our right, and then we will creep across behind the desk and wait for the other one to walk away. So there he goes there, walking away to his right. And now we just be patient. Okay, so eventually he will walk to the front of the room, and he'll have his back turned there. You can pretty casually stroll up there. Every time you hack one of these things, you do it on the ground, so that's good for you. But there he goes. He'll stand at the door and we'll wait in the same spot as where we came in. Just wait for him to turn around. Probably could have got a little bit better of a score. I didn't have to knock out as many people as I did. This is the first time I did it. I wanted to get the achievement unlocking on the video, so I ended up having to capture the HVT, so I didn't have to go all the way back through it again, although I probably will anyway. But I'll just do as you see there, I'm getting being a little bit stupid there, thinking I could get away with jumping up, because you have to stand in the light to jump up on that rail, but that probably ends up costing me in terms of time. There is a drone that's coming along the floor to the right. Not a real big issue, that drone. It generally just hovers along those red and blue lines. As you see, if I had have let him, or if I hadn't have disturbed this guard right in front of me, he would have turned around a bit quicker, and the drone wouldn't have almost spotted me, which you'll see in a second. I don't know how I got away with it, but I did. So, you know, there he goes, he turns around, creep up behind him, and almost gets spotted. Although there's actually a couple of guys that almost spot you as well in that other room. So you probably don't want to be as risky as I was there, but it worked out, so hopefully it works out for you. If you do fail at any point during this section, and get caught, or you can obviously try and gun it out if you want, but you do have to do the whole section again. Like if you hack 2 of the terminals and you fail, well then you fail. So it's a little frustrating, I suppose, but at the end of the day it's not that long. It's not like you lose hours of work. Okay, so just wait for the guard to walk back on his path down the hall, and make sure that the security light isn't just on top of you when you drop down. Run into the side here, and then there'll be a vent down on the floor. This will lead us into the back of the room where the terminal is to hack. Once that's done, this is a tricky one. There's a drone operator just to the left, and he almost spots me here. I don't know if you could get away with it. As you see there, dodged a bullet. Oh, got there. Alright, so have your noisemakers on again. If you don't have the bow for the noisemaker, just use the regular noisemakers, the throw sticky ones. It might take 2 noisemakers to get this guy to stop making his speech, and that's obviously if you wanted to capture him. If you don't want to capture him, just go ahead and hit the ventilation hack. I did that, and this guy will come around in a second. And yeah, there he goes. Kick him in the head. Okay, so we bag and tag him. Obviously you don't need to do that if you've already done it. And then slide. Just press B to slide in that vent, and you should be fine. Definitely won't get spotted in that one. Now this is where I talk about a little bit of luck with the paths. I normally would have to wait quite a while on this corner because the guard patrolling the hallway and the security camera moves back, so I decide against going out in the hall, but realise that the security guard is down the hall a fair way, so I decide to jump up and just hover over the top. So he starts walking back, and then you can safely drop down and walk along the hallway pretty much. There's only one lone heavy guard at the end of the hallway, and you've got the one that walks into the B server room. Don't worry about him. He'll obviously, you can just let him roam free in there. He's fine. Once he walks into his room, if he's actually there, you want to walk down the hall, and you should be able to see from that range the heavy guard on the radar. If you can see him walking away like that, then you're perfectly fine to just walk all the way down the hall. Be mindful of the drone, of course. Go all the way down the hall, and on the left you got the vent, which will lead to another vent exit, which is right in front of the C hack. Now we've got a guard just to our right. He's the only problem in here, and if he's pointing this way and he's close to you on the right side, just wait for him to turn away, which is now. There we go. And as soon as that happens, you can just open your vent, head to the right and hack it immediately. He's going to be walking over there. Now he's going to walk around to our right, around the desk, so I'd end up knocking him out because I got in a pretty awful position. But if you want to sit off cover here and just kind of walk around the desk as he's walking towards you, you'll be able to avoid him spotting you. As you see there, I got stuck on a chair, and there he is. So I knocked him out. You don't probably need to. You could probably just walk straight through the door and he wouldn't even notice you initially. Anyway, by that time the heavy should be gone. If he's not, just be patient. I'm pretty sure you could enter that vent. I'm not sure why I didn't, but I get a feeling that you can. I wasn't really sure where I was going at this point. I hadn't played up to it. Okay, you open that door there and just drop down into the sub-level vent. And I noticed that down there, walk all the way down there, and that's pretty much it. You don't really have to deal with any more guards. It's simply just Sadiq, the boss, and that boss is just a lone wolf of sorts, and not too hard to get past. Basically, the way it works, I mean, there's plenty of cutscenes here that I had to skip, unfortunately. I know some of you probably enjoy the cutscenes, and I might get ripped for it, but it's kind of something that I couldn't really do. It makes the videos too long, and my upload isn't very good, so yeah, that's unfortunate. Anyway, with obviously just press the X buttons here and you'll kill him. That doesn't matter as long as you're not Sam. You're allowed to kill people. Yeah, pretty much the go here is with the boss, like you just do the ending sequence is pretty straightforward and spelled out to you. But with the boss, you've just got to sneak up behind him around cover. I'll explain it now because then I can finish up the video by saying a few things. So you just sneak around the cover and it won't be an issue. Just make sure that the lights, they periodically go on and off. It's pretty straightforward, like I said. Once you grab him, don't worry about avoiding your shooting. Yeah, don't worry about avoiding your no-kill thing. It asks you to shoot him. You have to shoot him. It's part of the story, kind of. You only shoot him in the arm and graze him and injure him. So, yeah, pretty much just follow the cutscene to a T. I don't even think you can kill Sadiq anyway, so that you won't avoid anything. But there you go. Pretty much, this is the part. You see the lights will go on and off. Get behind him. He's got really good vision on Perfectionist at least, so try not to be a bit like too risky. Just wait for the lights, and you'll be fine. Anyway, I guess I'd just like to thank anyone who watched it, and I hope it helped you guys. It's a pleasure to bring this kind of stuff to you, and well, I obviously like flaunting playing games like this. It's really exciting, and I've had a great time playing it. So yeah, cheers for that, and cheers to any of you that helped me out by pressing the like button and suggesting things that were wrong with it. And if something's wrong with it, just please let me know, because constructive criticism is always welcome. And yeah, pretty much that's what I needed to say. So, well, we'll get back to the walkthrough. Okay, so yeah, once you've shot him, he'll run off, and you'll just walk towards the paladin, and he'll come up behind you and jump on your back, and this is where you just press X and whatnot, and you'll see after the cutscene, or at least after the mission, when it shows the ghost rating or whatever, it'll show up the 4 achievements in a row. Like I said, just remember, if the no kill achievement doesn't show up, just make sure that you check all your missions and see that they have been completed without killing anyone, and there'll be a tick next to it. And also, if you missed any collectibles, then don't worry about that. You can check in the that same briefing screen. So this is the last scene here. We go there, and there you go. That is stop the blacklist achievement. That is no kill option engaged. That is really perfectionist difficulty, and the last one will be realistic. So once again, thanks for watching, and take care.